Thank you for listening. A list of content warnings can be found in the episode description. Take care. Enjoy the show. Planescape Torment, the Unofficial audio series. A narrative let's play adapted and produced by RevocerGM. Combining in-game audio with additional voice acting through dialogue and descriptions to improve your listening experience. Rediscover the amazing story of the 1999 cult classic isometric video game, Planescape Torment, like you've never heard before. You step outside of Martha's hospice and find yourself in a cavernous pocket within this mountain of trash. The rubble is piled up in such a way to form a great basin, sloping up at the edges, almost mimicking the curvature of the city above. The walls comprise of a mixture of loose garbage and the actual walls of great buildings. It looks like it once might have been a whole city block, now scattered with disparate tents and crude structures. Several people gather towards the center, huddling around large trash fires that illuminate the cavern with a dull, shady orange, and a thick layer of smoke hangs above them like an ashen sky.
Oi, pass that jug around.
No, I work to pay for this.
Hey, I work.
Nah, all you do is lay around complaining about the cold.
One of them spots you observing them, a young-looking woman in patchwork clothes.
What do you want from us, Cutter?
Nothing. I'm just looking for someone.
Heh, you new here?
She gives you a quizzical look and then sighs.
Of course you are. Go on then, make it fast, Cutter. Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for Pharod. Do you know where I can find him? At the mention of Pharod, she tenses up for just a moment, but quickly hides it.
You a friend of his?
No, I just want to talk to him. She pauses to stare at you and smiles.
I see. Well, you've nearly found him. Over there behind the big old slab of metal, with those friendly-looking boys in front.
Thanks. Who are you?
That ain't important, Cutter. Some tricks the cracks too long ago, or maybe that was me da. One way or another, I'm just another one of the buried, trying to make my way however I can. Only, I keep getting asked questions, and it's stopping me from that. You done yet?
Sure. Thank you. It doesn't take you long to spot Pharod's kip. At the other side of the cavern, looming over the structures around it, is an imposing iron archway jammed into the wall of trash. Its squared and robust edges contrast the makeshift and haphazard nature of its surroundings, like a fortress marking its frontier.
Unbelievable roll. I think our friend might have something else involved here.
You're just jealous because you'll continue bad luck.
Shut your traps and roll the bleeding dice.
Below the arch, you see a group of well-armed men that look more like soldiers than the collectors you've dealt with so far. They glare silently as you pass under the arch and begin to close in behind you. Inside, you find a high chamber with a great bronze bell dangling from thick chains above you. This must be an old bell tower above some larger buried structure. As you enter the room, a heavy-set man lurches from his chair.
Hello there. Name's Bish. Who might you be? I'm Adan. What? We're here for Pharod.
Bish stares blankly at you, then shakes his head violently.
I never seen you before, and Pharod didn't tell me about no Adan coming round.
You notice his hand moving slowly towards his weapon.
Perhaps his confidence in you does not extend as far as you might think. Well, you best be telling him to readjust those thoughts if he expects my men and me to keep watch over this bleeding sinkhole. You best be telling me what you're doing here, Burke, before things get nasty. I've got nothing to hide, and I don't want to cause any trouble. I'm just here to speak with Pharod.
He sheathes his weapon and motions to a trapdoor located on the floor.
All right, on with you. But just you. Your friends here will stay with me.
Dakon's jaw clenches, but he relents.
Lad, watch your tongue down there. He's in as foul a mood as ever. Noted. Lads, escort him down. You be causing any trouble, and they'll be crushing your skulls, alright? Whatever you say, Bish.
Several of the guards lead you down a narrow, winding staircase, descending into a vaulted courtroom. Rows of benches spread out from central aisles like ribs on a dusty spine, each stacked with various oddities, reams of paper and leather-bound books, paintings and sculptures of outlandish beasts, and bizarre mechanical artifacts whose only purpose seemed to be corroding in this musty hall. A hoarder's paradise, an unfathomable collection of unwanted things. Presiding over this museum of junk, like a king surveying the reach of his land, is an elderly man, slumped on a throne fashioned from the hand of some titanic statue. His scepter, a worn and grubby crutch with soiled rags padding beneath the armpit. His crown, a dusty powdered wig plastered to his scalp from ages of feverish sweat. His left leg is withered and twisted as if he'd tried to walk 2 directions at once and paid the price. His maggoty-colored skin is bunched heavily upon his brow and is flecked with liver spots. He is mumbling and smacking his lips as his eyes make a circuit of the room.
Greetings.
The man's eyes light up as he hears your voice.
'Tisn't my steady crop of jink come to Pharod's waiting arms again. Greetings, corpse.
He smiles, a wicked gold-toothed grin.
Have you come to ask Pharod for another jaunt into the mortuary walls? My collectors have done as you asked, to the word.
He leans heavily against the crutch, causing it to creak dangerously.
Not so much luck to be had with the bauble, however. Did you perchance know where it is below? Would be such a help, it would.
Bauble?
Oh, the sphere then, corpse, the sphere. Have you?
Pharod reaches towards you, pleading like a beggar, then stops and composes himself.
No matter. I'll find it. No matter.
No, that's not why I'm here. A look of worry crosses his face.
Why then? Someone turned stag on my word. Dump you somewhere you were not meaning to be. Are we not square?
Pharod, I've come for information. I've been told you know something about me.
Know something about you?
The light in Pharod's eyes dims. He studies you, mumbling slightly as he scans up and down your frame.
Yes.
His eyes meet yours.
No.
Pharod, what is it? Pharod is studying you with a dead even gaze.
'Tisn't a mummer's fair, corpse. No time for games. No time for Pharod to play the wheel. What are you asking such questions for?
I need answers, Pharod. I was told you could provide them.
Now, who told you such a thing, corpse?
Who needed to tell me such a thing? Are you not Pharod?
So little said, so much told.
Pharod falls silent, and suddenly you have a feeling that he is dissecting you like a cadaver on a mortuary slab.
I know much you would know. Much, yes, much indeed.
Pharod smiles slowly, the folds of flesh on his face peeling back like a curtain. What do you know of me?
Oh, no. Not free, the question you ask.
He runs his pale tongue across his teeth and settles upon his throne like a vulture.
Much I can tell you, but the telling has a cost.
Go on, Pharod. Sneering, Pharod takes his crutch and taps the flagstones beneath him.
This village is not all that lies buried beneath Ragpicker's Square.
Yes, and?
Chambers, vaults, corridors, filled with the dead, all asleep in their coffins. Somewhere in those halls, somewhere there, lies something misplaced, something mine.
What is it?
a small thing. A trinket. Such a trifle. A trifle.
As Pharod speaks, his words start echoing as if two people were speaking. You know you've heard them before. From your own lips.
It's a sphere. Made of
bronze.
Ugly. Feels like an egg.
It feels like an egg to the touch. And it smells of rotten custard. Am I right? Pharod falls deathly silent for a moment, then nods.
Yes. How much do you hide from me, corpse? Did you return to see if I remember what it is I want?
Why don't you get one of your collectors to retrieve it?
Because the corridors need no more dead from this village. Strong, fast, clever. These are qualities my villagers do not have. They go below. They do not return. Perhaps the dead will welcome their own. That is what I think, corpse.
Do you know where the sphere is?
And why do you suppose I ask you to look for it, corpse? I do not know where it is. I know it is buried deep, far deeper than any villager has ever gone. Down, below the catacombs, where the waters run deep. Deep.
I want to know what I'm buying with this trinket.
There's a lot knowing rattle around my brain box, corpse.
He holds up a withered finger.
One of them is this bit of wisdom. Everyone wants something, whether they know it or not. There is much I know about you, much that you would want to know.
Wisdom? From what I can see, all you have is an obsession. I doubt you can tell me anything of value, Pharod.
I've learned another priceless bit of wisdom, and for you, I give it for free. A man is often wrong about a great many things, and a dead man is one who has been wrong one too many times.
Pharod wipes a filthy lace handkerchief across the spittle on his parched lips.
Much do I have to tell you that one would consider of value.
Fine. I'll see about finding this sphere for you, in exchange for what you know. But one piece of wisdom I'll give for free. When a dead man returns with a question, the living better find an answer. Pharod cracks his crotch sharply against the flagstones.
Very well. A deal struck. A deal made. A sphere for a peek inside my brain box. Now, corpse, there is no time to waste. Go to the gatehouse at the base of our square and tell those slumbering fools to open it for you. Make haste! Make haste!
Hold a moment. When you greeted me, you said something about taking me on a jaunt to the mortuary. What did you mean?
You tell me, corpse. Perhaps the dusties that live there are more to your liking than some sweet-bosomed wench.
He adjusts his wig that has begun to unravel about his temples.
Most forgiving of them to let you stride in and out of there as you please, considering you don't have the decency to stay in the dead book.
I wanted to go back into the mortuary. But why?
Corpse. You were so pig eager to get in, now you spill that you don't even know why you wanted in there in the first place. Sometimes it's wonder why the planes turn.
How was I to get out of the mortuary once I was left there?
Corpse. You said naught about getting you out of that hole.
Never mind. I had some other questions.
Then ask and be gone.
Why are you here? What is this place?
This here is Illwind Court. Not a name of my choosing, thank you kindly. And the keep outside this court is the buried village, corpse.
corpse. What was the buried village?
Oh, well. Now there's a story. But, to tell true, this story bores me. The short of it, it's a piece of the hive that got bricked over one day. A piece of sigil got penned in the dead book.
What do you mean?
You know them floating goat heads that serve the lady, them dabbuses? Well, no matter if you do or not, they go all around, fixing, breaking, burying, building, all the time. Do you follow?
Yes, go on.
Well, as the chant goes, and a dusty chant it is too, being so old, them dabbuses just damn well bricked over a section of the hive one day, and all bodies just forgot about it. Dump a lot of trash on it, and soon, nobody even knows it's here.
Pharod's mouth stretches into a smile, drawing shadows into the creases of his face.
Wicked, no? A piece of sigil, all forgotten.
How did you find it?
I still have my eyes, corpse. And I still have my ears. And when you have the sense to tie the two together, then finding the dark of any matter is not as hard as some make it out to be.
Pharod rubs his filthy robe.
Now, was there something else you wanted to pry from my brain box before your task? You didn't come just to hear about this rag hole, did you?
You know, there are rumors of you about, Pharod. That you have found a wealth of bodies. What's the secret? Where do they come from?
Perhaps I could tell you. I might.
He frowns, studying you.
Or I could keep you guessing. Does a magician tell the secrets of his tricks? So it is with the collector.
Are you comparing yourself to a mage, Pharod? I think you're insulting the craft. Pharod flushes, and he raps his crutch against the ground.
Collecting is as much a skill as any petty mageling can hold a copper to.
Oh, Pharod. Finding a bunch of dead bodies and selling them can hardly compare to the study of magic.
Was it not skill that found this place? It took sense to find this place, it did. And it took sense to make the most of it.
The buried village? Come on, what's the secret of that?
As I've said, this village is not all that lies beneath Ragpicker's Square. Chambers, vaults, corridors.
Pharod cannot contain the faint smile that bleeds across his face, and his eyes glint like gold.
Places black as pitch, filled with weeping stones and precious dead, all asleep in their coffins. Sleeping.
Where do all these dead come from? He affixes you with a lopsided stare.
Oh, corpse. Everything dies. Life is so short, but death lasts for so very, very long. Many people, many deaths.
His gaze travels past you.
Such a waste for their deaths to be useless in a dusty's arms, eh?
What do you mean?
Not all the dead that goes to the mortuary gate is fed to the furnace, corpse. The dusties once thought to bury some of the dead in the city's bowels. Still do on occasion. Under the village, so near, so close, is such a place. I would have been a fool not to see opportunities.
So you rob the catacombs of the dead that the dustmen placed there, sell them back to the dustmen, and they bury them again.
These catacombs are as deep as a dusty's pockets.
And as deep as the greed of man.
Oh, yes. And the greed of man is something that shall always be counted upon when naught else is left, eh?
Very clever, Pharod. One more thing.
Oh, come, corpse. Time's short, and so's my patience.
I once heard a tale of a man named Pharod. A king of rags.
Well, that's so. Well, Sigil be a berg of tales it is, but any tale involving Pharod can't be one these ears wouldn't want to hear.
He looks at you with mock suspicion, then grins.
Become a tale teller, have you, corpse? Well, go on then. Tell.
The tale is a strange one. It tells of a man of position and wealth who had everything. Then he discovered he had nothing. Pharod's grin freezes on his face, and his eyes take on a fiery gleam.
Are you certain you wish to tell this tale, corpse? Maybe you won't like how it ends, eh?
The man was such a liar, a cheat, that he twisted himself into a corner. He discovered that when death would come for him, it would take him to a terrible place. Pharod's grin dies. He looks frightened. He was determined to avoid such a fate, so he desperately looked for a way out of it. He would cheat fate, as he had cheated others. His face twists as if he had just swallowed something unpleasant. He found an answer, or he found a place to look for the answer. He was told to search the trash of Sigil for that which would let him escape his fate. Now, Pharod, perhaps you can tell me how the story ends. You watch as blood fills his features.
It has no ending, not for I.
His finger lashes out at you.
Now, a tale do I have for you, corpse.
I'm not here.
A corpse comes to Pharod's court, ripe with stench and promises, claiming he would find that which Pharod needed. But what did he bring? Nothing! Promise is broken, corpse. Do you deny it? Say that you do, for it means that you've lied to me, and I will die because of it.
I've said I'll search for it, Pharod. No promises have been broken.
Lies that lead to the death of another are the blackest thing.
He taps his crutch, wheezing slightly.
You'd best keep your word, else the plains will grind you like a miller's wheel.
We'll see, Pharod. Farewell.
Farewell, corpse.
Thank you for listening to Planescape Torment, the unofficial audio series, a RevocerGM production. To support the show and those involved, please consider subscribing to our Patreon or donating via our Ko-fi page. Links to both are in the description.